So welcome everyone. I'm Hannah Martin, and in this short web class, you're going to discover the 3 keys to stop struggling and start thriving in your small business. Now, I'm really excited that you're here, and you are absolutely in the right place if any of the following apply to you. So you run a business and you love the flexibility it gives you, but you're finding it tough to make real money without killing yourself in the process. You have limited time and energy to give to your business or freelance work, perhaps because of family commitments, but you still feel the spark and you're determined to make the business you've created a success. Or maybe you've been running your business for a while. You've had ups and downs and you've hit a make or break point. Either you make it work financially for you now or you give it up. Well, if you're finally ready to stop feeling exhausted by trying and trying and trying, but never really seeming to get anywhere, and worst of all, not understanding why, wondering whether it's a problem with you, and I am 99% sure it's not, by the way, or feeling trapped with a business that you seem to be propping up instead of the other way around. If any of these apply, then stay tuned, because the good news is that fixing your business is probably a lot simpler than you think, when you have the 3 keys that we're going to be talking about in this short session. So how will you know if you don't have these 3 things in your business? You'll know because you have one or more of the typical symptoms. And these are things like, you get to the end of the month and wow, it's been non-stop. You've been fully occupied, you've worked late nights, you've served customers, you've written emails, you've invoiced, you've just been on it all month. And all this on top of your personal life. And you're proud of yourself, customers love you, maybe your friends even notice, wow, you're busy, you must be doing really well. But then you look at your bank account and your reward for all that effort, all those late nights is, quite frankly, it's puny. And you don't even dare to tot up all the hours you just worked. You'd actually rather not know, because you secretly fear that you'll be much better off and much less stressed working in Tesco. And the worst thing is, you've got to do it all over again next month. Or maybe you put a proposal together for a new client. The conversation went well, they seemed really up for it and you're excited. But then it's a bit strange. They seem to go cold on you. Days go by and you wonder if you should chase them up, but you don't want to seem pushy. You know you're spending too much time watching your inbox, waiting, but you can't help it. And then suddenly it arrives, it's their email. But then you open it. You start to scan what it says and your excitement drains away. And it's replaced by a feeling of weariness. Now they're comparing your price with somebody else, or they're telling you, we decided it's not a priority right now, but do feel free to check back in a few months. It doesn't really matter what they say, because the effect on you and your dwindling motivation is exactly the same. And not for the first time you feel like crying and wonder if you were a fool for starting this bloody business in the first place. Maybe the truth is you're just not cut out for it, and you never were. Or perhaps you finally have a holiday with the kids. Fantastic. But the only trouble is, it's not quite a real holiday, because you're going to have to do some work while you're over there, and there's just no alternative. It's not that bad, you try to tell yourself. You can take your laptop and you can do stuff at night when the kids are asleep. But the truth is that work is the last thing that you really want to be doing on holiday. You're distracted, not in the holiday, and you're not really in the work either. Your family ask if you're okay, and they're understanding at first. But after a couple of days, they start to resent it, because it feels to them that you're more interested in your work than them, which in turn you resent. Why can't they understand? You're not doing this because you like it, you're doing it because you have to. And you tell yourself it's okay, this stage won't last forever. You'll reach a point where your business doesn't completely depend on you, won't you? Well, look, if any of that resonates with you, don't beat yourself up. It's not your fault, and it is completely fixable. But can we all agree on one thing right now? It's not sustainable. And it's time to stop the madness. Because the problem is, the real problem, this goes much deeper than the day-to-day struggles, because every year your business is not really working for you is a year that you lose forever. You see, often when we're employed by someone else, we get benefits like pension contributions, our salary goes up, and we get holiday pay. But of course, when you run your own business, you're on your own. And if things are tight, you probably aren't putting away enough money for your future, whether that's just for your own retirement, things you want to save up for, or to help your family. And our prime earning years are really quite short. So the question is, can you afford to waste 3 or 4 years struggling, treading water with your business, knowing that the longer you struggle, the more ground you'll have to make up, and in less time? And it can be daunting to think about, I know, but don't worry, you can change the future. Because when you apply the 3 keys that we're going to go through, you can begin to improve things step by step. It won't happen overnight, but you can often start to feel a difference within weeks, as you'll see. So what you'll discover is that the kind of struggles that we've been talking about are all symptoms of not having the 3 key things that you see in this diagram. And that's the P, the L, and the S, present and in balance in your business. So what do PLS stand for? All will be revealed as we go along, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Let me explain how I even know this stuff and why you should listen to me. Because, let's be honest, there's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of people claiming to have miracle cures, when really, you and I both know that there's no such thing. So my name is Hannah Martin. I'm the co-founder of Talented Ladies Club, and these are just a few of the places that you might have seen me. And I want to congratulate you right now for having the guts to make your own way. 15 years ago, I returned to my job in advertising from maternity leave after having my first baby, only to be forced out because I had the nerve to start leaving work on time. I was told I had 24 hours to sign a non-disclosure agreement and leave the company immediately with no compensation, or they would start disciplinary proceedings against me. I got legal advice and was told it was a clear case of sex discrimination and constructive dismissal, but I was advised not to fight it because it would be hanging over me for a year while it came to tribunal. I'd have to pay the legal fees with no guarantee of a win, and win or lose, my career in my male-dominated industry would be over. Now, I was good at what I did, and I got another job with a much higher salary really quickly, but the experience scarred me. And ever since then, I've campaigned against maternity and pregnancy discrimination. In fact, this is a picture of me being interviewed on the subject on the Victoria Derbyshire show on BBC TV. But there was one good thing that came out of that experience. I decided that when I was ready, I was going to make my own way in the world by starting my own business, and I was never going to rely on a boss again. Soon after, my co-founder and I launched Talented Ladies Club with a mission to create an inspiring resource that would show women that becoming a mother wasn't the end of their career. It could and should be the start of an exciting new adventure. As of today, I've run my own profitable businesses for 13 years. I've made that much kind of touted 6-figure annual income, and I've grown Talented Ladies Club from nothing to over 3.5 million readers and a profitable business with multiple income streams and a global group or a global team. But let me be really, really clear. I do not have any superpowers. I have made a million mistakes, but I've also done all of this starting out as a single mum while having a baby, and I've put my son through private school, running my businesses from home around school hours. So let me tell you, it is possible. Now, over 90,000 people just like you read our articles every month. 14,000 get our emails, and I'm talking to over 9,000 of you every day on Facebook. So I can tell you nearly everyone has these problems at some stage. And Talented Ladies Club is a really nice business now, but it hasn't always made money. Although I'd worked for some of the world's top brands, including Google, Sony and Disney, before I set up in business, for the first few years, TLC didn't make much profit. And that was hard because we were investing a lot of time and energy into it with very little financial reward. But I realised now the problem was not that I was early stage. I was just focused on the wrong things. And as soon as I switched my focus from growing our website traffic onto what I now know are the PLS principles, and I followed up with action, our profits grew extraordinarily fast. From talking to and mentoring hundreds of small businesses over the last few years as a mentor for NatWest's Entrepreneur Accelerator program, as well as in my own business, one of the things I've noticed is this. So most of the so-called advice out there fails business owners like you because it distracts you with tactics. You're told you need a chatbot to run Facebook ads, or that all your prayers will be answered if you just podcast or Instagram story every day. And it can be seductive, but the truth is that tactics like these are probably the last thing you should be focused on right now. Because with any early stage or mid stage business, the fundamentals are what matters most. And without them, none of the tactical stuff works anyway. The tactics can be great when you've got the right foundation, but without that foundation, the tactics won't work, and everything you try is going to be a struggle. But it doesn't need to be that way. If you think being a relatively new business means you aren't entitled to make good money yet, or if you think it means you have to make do with clients or customers who are difficult or you don't really want, or if you think that earning more can only boil down to you putting more time at the coalface, working harder and longer, you're going to see that none of these things are true when you have the three key elements in place. And they are profit, love, and systems. And you need all three of these keys, because if you don't, your business will be out of balance and you'll soon run into problems. So let's look at each one, and at the end of each one, you'll be able to grade yourself so you get a sense of where to focus first. So let's start with the P, profit. The profit element is about pricing right. It's about ensuring you're making economical offers in the marketplace, that you understand your income and costs correctly, and you value your own time. Now, obviously, it's essential to master profit because this is the heart of a viable, successful business. Now, you'll know you haven't got the profit aspect of your business right if you have clients or customers in your business, but you never seem to have enough money. Or you'd love to give your clients a better service, but you can't afford to invest in doing that. Now, when you get the profit aspect right, you'll very quickly start to see a difference in the financial health of your business. You'll begin to feel a bit of breathing space, and it's a virtuous circle. You'll also be able to do a better job, which in turn leads to more referrals. So now I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how well you're doing on the profit dimension in your business right now. To estimate your score, I want you to quickly ask yourself these three questions. Do I know which of my products or services or clients were most profitable in the last 12 months? Do I know if I actually lost money in any clients, jobs or products if I take into account a fair rate for my time over the past 12 months? Do I have one or more high profit packages I always offer to clients in addition to what I offer as standard? So just rate yourself out of 0 to 10, 1 to 10 on those three questions. Now, the second key to a successful business is what I call love. So what do I mean by love? Love is about having a strong sense of purpose and a clear vision for what you're doing that guides your decision making every single day. And part of that is about being deliberate about doing just the work that fires you up 80% of the time, because that's what's going to give you the edge in the market. And arriving at this vision, this understanding, isn't something you should expect will just happen on its own. You need to work on with as much diligence as you devote to your pricing or product, service development and delivery. To ensure you're shaping a business with the scope and potential to achieve the success you want and need, and a business that's a natural fit for your unique talents and your ambitions. So you'll know you're missing the love when you find winning new clients and customers much harder than you know it should be. Your business sometimes feels like having a job again, and not in a good way. You have to feel all of the grind, but you get none of the security. Now, a big part of this is being careful and deliberate about the clients and customers you aim to serve, because having that clarity makes your selling and marketing so much easier. When you get the love right, when you've carefully thought about and know the type of clients you want to attract and why, it gives you confidence going into every interaction. And as if by magic, except it's not magic, your dream clients are attracted to you. And as I said, let me be really clear here, this is not magic. What's really going on is because you've made a conscious decision to go for a certain type of client, you very quickly get good at speaking to and serving only those types of clients. You're also putting out marketing and sales that is laser sharp aligned to all the problems they've got and the solution they want. So your confidence isn't imaginary or temporary. It's very, very real. And you know what's just as important? When you commit to going after only the right clients, you're creating a business that you will genuinely love. And that is what will keep you going, not just in the good times, but through the tough days as well. So having the love is the key to waking up every day, not dreading the work of running your business, but happy and excited to take it on. So again, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How well are you doing on the love element in your business right now? So ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I have a clear picture of what my ideal business will look like when it's finished? Do I have a clear picture of the type of client or customer I want to attract and, really importantly, not attract? Do I currently spend 80% of my working time on the kind of work I love to do? Okay. So rate yourself out of 1 to 10 on how you score on those 2 questions. Okay, so here's the final key: systems. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you created a business that you didn't have to work in beyond a few hours a week unless you wanted to, but it delivered all the income that you need? Now, let me be clear, you will not get this overnight. It will take time, but it is absolutely what you should be working towards. And the way you work towards that outcome is by first thinking about your business in a different way to how you may have been thinking about it before. You see, your business is not your baby. Your business, my business, any business is nothing but a collection of systems. And right now, if your business is not performing the way it should, you have a problem with your systems. Now, at this point, you might be saying, okay, wait a minute. I don't have any systems in my business at all. Oh, but you do. You just don't realize it. Because here is one all too common system that a lot of struggling business owners have in their business, and you might recognize this. So here's the common system that lots of businesses have. Number 1, they check bank account. Number 2, see balance is low. 3, panic. 4, research marketing tactics online. 5, pick one and try it. 6, cross fingers and pray. So not too good, right? A lot of business owners are keeping the show on the road in spite of poor systems like this. And to make up for them and to plug the gaps, the only answer seems to be to work harder and longer. But of course, compensating with sheer brute force and willpower will only last you so long. Because when you don't have good, simple systems in place, what happens is your business is completely reliant on you. So if you want to take time off, for example, you can basically forget it. You go on holiday, and because you aren't personally there, turning the wheel constantly, there's no income. But unfortunately, your bills and financial responsibilities never take time off. And actually, not only is this an incredibly risky position to be in, but the impact you can make on the world is severely limited. There's no way you can realise your full potential in this situation. There's also no opportunity, and I know this from speaking to a lot of business owners who are stuck on this particular thing, is you don't actually have time to work on your business because you are consumed by working in your business. And the only way you can grow and evolve a business is by working on it. The only way you can take your business in the right direction is by working on it. The only way you can get things like pricing right and your mission right and your sales funnel right is by working on it. And if you haven't got good systems in place, then you're working in it all the time. But when you do get good systems in place, and they only have to be simple, the systems I teach are really, really simple to put into place, you'll begin to notice a difference quite quickly. You'll get consistency in sales and output, and because you have processes, you'll see it's relatively easy to hire help to tackle lower value work, and for you to concentrate on the higher value work. And I've seen this, and I'll share some examples in a minute of how this has a powerful effect quite quickly on businesses. But right now, before we do that, I want you to mark yourself, or rate yourself, out of 1 to 10 on how well your systems are working in your business. So ask yourself these 3 questions. Are sales very unpredictable month to month? If you're forced to hire a VA to help you for 10 hours a week, Would you have any documentation to show them how to do routine tasks, or would you need to explain it all to them? And could you take a week off work and not have everything fall apart? Or, stretching things even further, what about a month? So write down your score out of 10 on that. So having marked that out of 10 for the 3 keys of profit, love and systems, you've now got your total score. So how do you do? Out of 30, if you scored 23 to 30, you're on the right track, keep going. If you scored 13 to 22, then you're doing well in some areas, but more work is needed on the weaknesses, because until they're fixed, you'll find it hard to grow. And if you scored yourself from 3 to 12, I suggest getting urgent help. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be from us. It can be from anyone, but making sure it's from someone that you trust, who's got a good track record. And please don't fall for anyone who promises you instant results. Get a good outside eye to help you, because they will quickly see things that you never would yourself, because you're too close to everything. Because what your score is telling me is that your business, the way it is right now, has got some pretty big issues that need to change fast, or its future or your sanity trying to run it will be in doubt. Now, if you did score at the lower end, please don't worry, and please do not feel down or bad or anything, because trust me, in the early years of TLC, I would also have scored in that range. I want to show you now a few examples of people who've been where you are and who've worked with me and were able to achieve the kind of progress that I know is possible for you if you get these things right. This is Kerry Coleman of Coleman Hammond. So when I started working with Kerry, she was describing herself as a social media strategist. And she told me that she was struggling with finding and keeping new clients and generally feeling a bit disheartened and lacking in direction. So I felt strongly that Kerry needs to lose the social media label, because actually when I spoke to Kerry, she had about 18 years experience working for some really, really big brands on their marketing. And the label that she was currently using downplayed that experience and was a lower paid and lower valued skill than the level she was working at in marketing. So I also helped Kerry make one really simple change to her positioning, which was niche down to a sector that she had excellent experience in. And the result was that her sales shot up by 240% really, really quickly. And as new clients joined her business, Kerry was able to outsource more of the day-to-day client work, taking on freelancers to help her and investing in an accountant, a graphic designer, and a blog writer. As a result, she's been able to focus more on client acquisition and strategy, 2 areas she loves and excels in. So Kerry's sales more than doubled really quickly. And 2 years on, I still work with Kerry, and her business is growing from strength to strength. And we're constantly looking at growing and scaling it and freeing Kerry up to do. And she's doing much more of the work where she goes in and she talks to clients, onboards clients, and then passes off the work to really good people that she pays well, because she's got a really good team in place now. This is Amanda Overend. So Amanda had been running her online bookstore for 7 years, and after her youngest child was established at school, she decided it was time to get serious. Now, Amanda wanted to start scaling her business and put systems in place, but had found it hard to do because, in her own words, she felt she was chasing her tail all the time, trying to fit her business around the kids. So what I found with Amanda was that the fulfillment of her service, and that's the actual packing and posting of the books that she was selling to her customers, was eating up way too much time and energy, more than Amanda even realised when we started doing timesheets, and it was destroying her ability to grow her business. So we showed Amanda how to start systemising her business. And one of the first things she was able to do, thanks to our work and thanks to Facebook ads, was to outsource her fulfillment completely. So Amanda actually posted the photo on the left in our Facebook group because she was celebrating all her books going off to the fulfillment company in a lorry. And within 6 weeks of starting our work together, she never had to handle or pack a book again. And that wasn't the best part. The best part was taking this step allowed Amanda to do what she should be doing, which was the stuff that she loved, and to grow her business. And as a result, she was able to triple her online sales. And I have to say, I mean, that was back in October. Since then, she has was able to grow her business through coronavirus and take advantage of people being at home. Her business has now transformed again because of the systems she had in place, because of the outsourcing fulfillment and the Facebook ads and all of that. Amanda's business has grown, and now, because I still work with Amanda, and we are now scaling her business up to a level that she never thought possible when she started working with me. And actually, I think she was saying something like her turnover in a day was more than she was earning a month about a year ago, something like that. I mean, her business has hugely transformed, and it was only possible through systems. If Amanda, she's made some really wise decisions on things like fulfillment, and she was really brave, but we worked through the numbers to make sure that was going to work for her. And it's because of those decisions that's enabled her to scale her business. This is Laura Harmsworth. So Laura's a CV writer. When we started working together, Laura was busy every day, which sounds great. But the problem was when, the magic timesheet thing again, we took her time into account, I showed Laura that she was effectively working for less than minimum wage. So here you've got someone who was highly skilled, because Laura's got an amazing career, but hour for hour, she would have been better off working in McDonald's or Tesco's. So clearly, we need to find a way to increase the profitability of each client. So the first thing with Laura, we explored her typical clients and who they were, who she enjoyed working with, who was easiest to work with, and which clients were easiest to find and onboard. Using this information, we restructured Laura's packages and designed them to attract more of her most profitable clients. We then did competitive research to get a full picture of industry rates, and we went for a much more ambitious pricing policy. So Laura was initially nervous about increasing her prices, as people often are, and she was worried she would scare off her clients. But to her surprise, she didn't lose any business. And in fact, Laura only increased her profits by 43%. Or sorry, she not only increased her profits by 43% in 6 months, but she was fully booked. And Laura actually spends most of her time now fully booked. And so the things we've been exploring with Laura is we're trying to find a way that Laura can find other people to give work to. The issue Laura has is obviously making sure that the quality is there in the people that she gives work to, because she's always got this problem. She's got too much work and she hasn't got enough time to fulfill demand. And Laura has actually put up her prices again since then. She puts up her prices every single year and now feels really good about it. She doesn't feel bad about putting up her prices. So year on year, she's not, as many people do, losing money. She's making more money year on year. And then there's Alejandra Ganaldi and Rosanna Fulford from Love Calligraphy in Manchester. So within a few weeks, they doubled their earnings from 2 half-day workshops they planned and priced as a result of working with me on Profit Love. Now here's quite a new one. So this is Dr. Kaylee Fawcett Williams. So Kaylee runs wildlife technology courses, and she was really struggling to sell places in her course, and we started working together, and I really quickly realized that she'd been given some ill-advised advice on targeting previously. So what we did is we looked at her target market and we identified a really clear target market that Kaylee hadn't really been looking at properly. She'd been trying to do that classic thing where she was trying to appeal to lots of groups, thinking if I have lots of target audiences, I'll get lots of sales because there are more people in my funnel. Actually, she ended up with a really watered down message. So we honed in on one niche that we identified as being the best possible niche, and she changed her messaging, changed her targeting, and really started working on her sales funnel. And as you can see, like, she sent me a message last week saying that she'd sold 54 places on, and this was her early bird offer. She's still selling this course at a much higher price at £97, and she sold 54 places at £97, which it bought her in over £5,000 in one weekend. And actually that is still, I think, much too cheap. We're going to look at her pricing when we get to that module of the course, and we're going to work on her pricing as well, so she'll be charging more later on. She's got a brilliant course, she's got the ideal target market, and she's done fantastically well, and that was in week 4 of working together. But probably the quickest wins ever on my course came from Sally Smythe. So Sally runs Queen Bee Styling, and she made a £900 sale from one email that she sent following an exercise that we did on week 2 of my program, which was a really good start. So I can't promise that you'll see results as fast as Sally, but these are the kind of things that can happen when you start to get the profit, love and systems right in your business. And the chances are all the people that you've just seen had one or more of the issues that you've got. There's no shame in making mistakes or finding things tough. The only crime is not putting it right when you know what you need to do. So imagine what it will feel like when you do get it right. So I want you to imagine being out and about, or sitting at home and checking your balance on your phone. And instead of the usual feeling of disappointment or dread, feeling only satisfaction and new confidence because the prices that changes you've made are bearing fruit. When you get those lovely email alerts on your phone saying you've got another sale, you've got another sale, you've got another sale, and they're just pinging in, and it feels like you've unlocked a door that has been closed for so long, and like you were trying all these keys, none of them worked, and then suddenly you put this key in, and because I know how this feels because this happened to me, and it feels like, oh my God, this key works, and the door is opened, and you're like, it's so easy. How come I didn't know that before? And then suddenly all these things kept coming to you, and you can't believe how easy it is when you found it hard for so long. It's just about finding that right key. So imagine as well having a meeting with a potential client or partner, and instead of them comparing price or questioning you or stalling, doing a great deal on the spot because they see you as the only logical choice. They don't even like, your prices don't matter. They want to work with you no matter what. And imagine expression on the face of your partner, of your family, of your friends, when they ask you how business is going. And instead of feeling defensive or embarrassed, you reply with a smile that things are going so well, you've just hired help, and you don't even answer your own emails anymore. As I say, these things don't happen overnight, but they are all possible no matter where you find yourself at the moment. So now you've seen the whole process and graded yourself on the profit, love and systems aspect in your business, you're probably a little clearer on what your next move should be. Well, here's what you can do now to make progress fast and seeing results quickly, hopefully as quickly as Sally and Kaylee. Because we've always got choices, got 2 choices, right? We can keep trying to do things the old way, the way that hasn't worked, but we know where that leads. It leads us nowhere. It leads us exactly where we are now with the same results. Or we can try on the right path. We can try a path that gives us the support of someone who's done it before. We can have them guide us and save us years of pointless, painful struggle. So if you're ready for that, here's my invitation to you. So book a free profit love assessment call with me. Now on this call, I'll walk you through the process and ask you some questions to help work out where you're struggling the most. And so hopefully we can help see if I can help you, if you've got kind of things that will really work with the process that I do. And maybe we can get some clarity on your marketing sales. And quite often in these calls, it's quite easy to identify with you working together, what are the areas you particularly struggle with and what will start to unlock that door for you. So obviously there's an opportunity to help you get there with my support. I've got some options for all budgets we can talk about. But I've got a specific Double Your Profits program, which I am enrolling a new cohort for. And if I think, and you think that could be good for you, and we can discuss that. Now, I don't want you to think this is a sales call. It's not. I'm in the business of churn and burn. I don't need, and I can't work with hundreds of clients. I only work with small cohorts of people. I just want to work with the right people that I genuinely can help and have a long-term relationship with. Most of the people I work with over the 12 weeks, I work with them, stay on, and they still work with me after that because it works really well and we have a good relationship. So all I want to do is have a chat with you about the kind of things you're struggling with. I ask you 3 questions. Those questions generally kind of unpick that. And if you like the sound of working with me, and if I think I can work with you, we can talk about it further. And the only thing that I ask is that you've been in business for at least 12 months. So we've got something to work with. If you've been working for less time than that, if you've working less time and you're established, we can have a call. But genuinely, you do need to have some kind of business that us to unpick and kind of and take you forward on. And it works for freelancers and small business owners. So if that sounds like something that you'll be interested in, as you've just seen, all the people, Laura, Amanda, Kerry, Alejandra, Sally and Kaylee, all their breakthroughs began with a conversation just like the one that you're about to book with me. And so if you feel that might be something that will be good for you, I would love to make you our latest success story. But we need to have a chat first. So as I said, there's no other way you could join this program. It's a 12-week program called Double Your Profits, which all of these people have been through that program, and you can't have it except with a call with me. So if you would like some help with me, if you want to transform your scores and get some of the results they've had, then please do book. And I'll put that link into chat in just a sec. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this class. If you've got questions, do put them into chat and I will answer them. And I'm going to put that link into chat as well in case it's helpful. And I hope that's been a really helpful class for you. Now I'm just going to come back onto video again. Hello. I will just put that link for you if you wanted to book a call. Into chat. So there, I've put the link into chat. So I'm just going to scroll up. So anyone's got any slides? Hannah says, PLS, I'd like it. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, so someone, Galaxy A10, I don't know who you are. Sorry, your name doesn't come up. Thank you for the class. You're brilliant. Thank you, Abby. I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, I'm very happy to answer questions here. If you would like to book a class, please do. As I said, basically what will happen on the call, I will ask you 3 questions. And we will use those to try and work out where it is you want to be, what might have stopped you, how we can help you get there. And then we'll just chat about what I think has come up in your business. If you don't want to go ahead, that's absolutely fine. You will get some really good insights from the call. You will get insights on your business and what's been going wrong, but please only book the call if you think that you might want to go ahead with something, if it's right. But it's not a sales call. You do not have to book with me on the call. You're welcome, Jem. You're welcome. I don't know how to pronounce Simpiwi. I'm really sorry if I haven't pronounced your name correctly. I don't know. I haven't seen that name before. It's a really beautiful name. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Antonia. Caroline, I can't see the links. Unfortunately, can you post them on Facebook by email? I'd like to call. Oh, thank you. I popped it into chat. Oh, I clicked all panelists. Sorry. All panelists and attendees. I've just put the link into chat. I'll send out an email after this with the recording in case anyone hasn't watched it, and the link in there as well. But I had just sent. So you're like, there's always a tech problem in any webinar. I just sent the link to myself, which is really handy. So yeah, so Caroline, I've popped the link into there now. You can, if that's okay, you can pick up there. Okay. You have a confident and calm, reassuring voice. Thank you. I had to say, I am a qualified hypnotherapist. About 16 years ago, I qualified as hypnotherapist. I don't practice, and I'm not hypnotizing you, but maybe that's helped me hone a calm, confident voice. So thank you very much. Marianne said it's very helpful. Thank you. It's useful for me to book a call. I don't have many systems. Yes, so Marianne, so yeah, good question, Marianne. You say, is it useful for me to set up? I don't have many systems, only just started out a website, even though I've been running my business since 2013. Yes, Marianne, if you think that you would really like help. So if you've been going to 2013, you don't have to have systems. Well, you do have systems, you just don't realise. Yeah, if you've got a business that's going and it's not working for you and you can't work out why and you're frustrated and you would love to earn more money in your business, you would love to free up more time to work on your business, you would love to be in love with your business more, you would love to kind of be doing different activities in your business. If you find yourself doing the grunt work and you can't escape that, even though you haven't got systems in place, do book on the call because I can help you with that. people kind of, I've spoken to people who've been in business like 10 years and still really haven't got much of a starting block. I can help you move off that starting block. Often it's always something simple that's blocking you. It's your pricing, it's your sales funnel, it's your targeting, it's the way you're spending your time. It's really simple things like that. And it's quite easy for someone like me outside your business talking to you to establish that, because you can't, I work with a business coach. I don't see these things on my own business. We never can. So it's really easy to see outside in. It's never easy to see when you're in. So yes, Marianne, you're very welcome to book a call if you wish, and I'd love to have a chat with you. And I will be honest with you as well on the call. I say I take very small cohorts, so generally about 4 people. So I don't need lots of people to join. I just need a few, because I work with a very small group of people and I give really personal advice to you. So I don't want to take you on if I'm not going to help you, because it's a waste of my time and it's a waste of your time. And it's a waste of your money, and I don't want to waste your money. So I will be honest with you on the calls if I don't think I can help. And if I do think I can help, I will invite you on if you would like to join. So that's it. You're welcome, Lydia. You're welcome, Caroline. You're welcome, Blossom. I feel inspired to think Heart is brilliant. Just do it. And I would say to everyone, like, whether you book a call or not, whether you feel you're ready or you want to book a call with me, but put aside time every week to work on your business. So my routine, when I get into work on a Monday morning, mornings are great and Monday mornings are great because you haven't had time for stuff to stack up in your inbox. I spend the first hour of my business, and I get into work early on a Monday. I get into work in my office here. I come to my office, which is around the corner from my house, because I need to get away from the laundry and my husband, who's really noisy when he works. And I spend the first hour every Monday. I do my books. I do not do anything else but that. I have set routines in my place that make sure I work on my business. And I think if you can squeeze time, like if you could squeeze half a day a week to work on your business and be really targeted with that, you'll see a big difference. The biggest mistake people make is not putting aside that time and really kind of making sure that time is protected. It's very tempting to go, oh, I've got an urgent email, oh, I've just got to do this, that client wants a call, oh, that time's free, I'll put that call in there. Do not make that time sacrilege. Make it that your time for your business, and you will see, if you work in a strategic way in your business every week, you will see a big difference. So again, simply, I really apologise if I haven't pronounced your name properly. Do not worry if your score's bad. My score was bad, like TLC many years ago. So I worked out what I needed to do. I got help. I invested in business coaching quite early on in TLC, and it was the thing that transformed it and continues to transform it. So I can't recommend getting outside help enough. It doesn't have to be me, but do make sure it's not like a kind of con artist promising you the sky or whatever, pointing the world. But do get help. It does make a difference. And I can understand if for some people, you can't do it in a big way. We're actually launching something next week. I'm just kind of shouldn't be talking about this now, but I will talk about next week for people who can't afford, who aren't at the stage yet when they can afford proper coaching with me. And we've got another offering that gives you a year's worth of support on all of these things. Which I will send details out. And for any of you who don't feel like in a position yet, maybe you're not at that 12-month stage, I have got something that was more affordable. That next week is great value. Tessa says, the director of professional register says, the online views of my webpage are lower than my contemporaries. Okay, good question, Tessa. So Tessa asks, so the director of her professional register says that the online reviews of her webpage are lower than her contemporaries. Is that because she's from a younger generation, or because my clients are put off with my surname? I'm British, and my dad's parents were Polish. Should I brand my website without using my surname? So Tessa, I assume that the reason why you're saying that's your professional register knows, because they're seeing a difference in clicks off to your website. If that's the only thing they've got to go on, maybe take a photo of you and maybe your name, It could be that. Sadly, we all make judgments about people having little else to go on. We'll make judgments on things like what we see, which aren't always helpful or correct. So without knowing what they see, it could be that they're seeing other things. It could be the messaging you're putting out there. I don't know what if you could elaborate a bit more about what they see and what they're judging that on, that might help. If it's literally just your surname, it could be that. It could be that maybe they think, I don't know how to pronounce her surname, I'm too shy to get into a call with her or to go and no further. It could be they make a judgment that you're foreign from that, and that's an issue for them. If that's all they've got to go on, I genuinely don't know. If you're worried about that, and if you're worried about, again, about people pronouncing it and then maybe putting off because they don't want to be in a position where they've got to say that and they want to be embarrassed, you might want to brand it differently. But that might not be an issue. And that's not really helpful, is it? But it could be, if that's the only thing they've got to go on, and it's literally a photo of you and your name, and everything else is all the same, then that obviously is the thing they're judging it on. In which case, you may want to rebrand it. Quite a few famous Hollywood actors, actually, when even kind of Kirk Douglas and people like that, actually changed their name, Martin Sheen, because they had like names that they thought there might be judgment about or that people couldn't pronounce. So I'm not saying it's right, I don't think anyone should have to change their name, but I'm just trying to kind of maybe give you some answers there. Symphony says, I'm struggling a lot. The love is there, the price. And so pricing, yeah, I ran a pricing challenge, not last week, the week before. Actually, everyone is pricing too low. Look at your pricing. Keep a timesheet of your time. Go and look at do a competitor research of other people's pricing and see where they're pricing, and make sure that you are fully accounting for the time that you spend. Cynthia, are you in the TLC Business Club? We've got a Facebook group called if you Google the TLC Business Club, and you do in there, we share some stuff in there sometimes. And we're going to be sharing, like I said, I'm going to be sharing some stuff next week about something that might help you if you're not ready for a call, that will help you with things like systems and pricing on a lower level, with less of kind of the one-to-one from me, that might help you with that. So Kathleen, I'd love to book a call. Thank you, Kathleen. I'd love to speak to you. You're welcome, Marianne. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Oh, Ruth. Okay, Ruth, I'll just pop that I've just popped at the bottom of chat, I've just put the link in again. I've just popped a link in there. If you don't know, I will send a recording out as well, because I know some people kind of said that they wanted to watch it and they couldn't be here now. So I will send that out. Okay, so yeah, Galaxy A10, sorry, it doesn't putting up your name. We can always do a Zoom call if you didn't if you're overseas, by the way, I would do a Zoom call rather than a phone call. Kathleen forgot to give mobile. So have you? Oh, okay, so you forgot to put your mobile on there. Okay, I will. I've made a note of your mobile number, Kathleen. So don't worry, I've got that. I run a virtual office. I'm struggling to get a target market. Okay, Cynthia, you run a virtual office. Great. I would say niche down. If I ask your target market to any of you, if someone asks your target market and you use the word anyone or everyone in your description, then you're not niche enough. So I would say pick a niche. So it could be, so maybe let's say, for example, you used to work in pharmaceuticals, or you used to work in the entertainment industry, or then you might kind of go, right, well, I'm going to do a virtual office for pharmaceutical companies, or in that sector, or media companies, or you can niche on the kind of things that you do. So maybe you just niche on a virtual office but for email marketing, or a virtual office just for appointment setting. If you niche down into something, you immediately narrow your competition. And the great thing about niching as well is you can also increase your pricing, because people will pay more for a generalist. Sorry, people pay more. for a specialist than they do a generalist. People would expect to pay less for someone's generalist, but if you're a specialist, they think you've got kind of magic powers or certainly more skills, and they're more likely to pay more. They're also, if you're a pharmaceutical company and you're looking at virtual offices, who are you going to pick? You've got 4 companies to choose from. 3 of them are, we help all kinds of companies, and 1 only works for pharmaceutical companies. They know exactly what you need. They know they've got a system set up, and their employees understand your industry. Of course, you'll go for the pharmaceutical specialist, even if they're more money. So Symfori, again, I really apologise if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. But what I would say is that if you are struggling with that, find a niche. That's what, when I talked about Kaylee's example, Kaylee was selling her course, was trying to sell it to basically anyone who possibly be interested in this course, when in fact most people had a passing interest in it, but there was one target group that had a lot to lose if they did not do this course. So we identified who that group was, and we just talked to those people. We stopped all marketing to other people. She made sure that her marketing was really aligned just this group, and then suddenly that key in the door magically opened. It is all about finding your niche. So if you're struggling with sales, you're struggling with finding a target market, and you're struggling with pricing, niching will help you a lot. So make sure you you've got to pick the right niche. Make sure it's one that actually exists and there's enough business in it. But that will be the secret to unlocking, I think, for you, Symfori. I'm going to go up. Heather. Brilliant, Heather, look forward to speaking to you. If not now, when? I know exactly. It is a big leap. If it helps anyone to know, when I hired my first business coach, I knew I needed to, because like many of you, I was putting in a lot of hours to TLC and it was making a bit of money, but it was not repaying me for the size it was, and the readers I had and the work I was putting in. And when I hired my first business coach, it was a lot of money. In fact, I had savings in TLC because I'd kept money in it, but her monthly cost was more than TLC was bringing in a month. So it was a kind of, oh my gosh, it was a leap off the cliff moment. But I knew, if not now, when, I had to do something. And so she, like for the first 3 months, my monthly sales were in the red, my monthly figures were in the red because of what I was spending, although I had the savings in TLC. After that, after 3 months, my profit started doing this. And it just carried on, and it has ever since. Business coaching was the best thing I ever did for my own business. It should always be an investment. And if you look at the examples I share on there, it's not always quick. Obviously, people like Kaylee and Alejandra and Sally had quite quick financial results. Not everyone has them that quickly, but what you should always be able to look back on your business coaching. I do this with all my business coaches. I work out how much I spent on that coach, and then I look at the difference it's made on my business financially. What extra income can I attribute to that business coaching? And I measure my return on investment. I always earn back a lot more than I ever paid back. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. Like I said, with my first coach, it took a bit of time. When it started to come in, and it's continued to come in, the residual effect of her work, even today, and I've worked with other coaches since different areas of business, but the residual effect of her work that was many years ago now, is still in my business now. The knowledge that she shared with me is bringing me money now. So it should always be a return on investment. Lovely, Caroline. So Caroline, I've got with Caroline. If any of you were hesitating about working with Hannah, just call her. I cannot believe how much time I wasted on business for working with Hannah. I've achieved so much in a few months, and she gives so much advice and support. Thank you. That's really lovely, Caroline. So yeah, I have worked with Caroline, and I wielded a big stick to get Caroline. Caroline was, amazing energy, but you just needed to focus that energy, and you still do, focus it in the right area. Paula says, thank you. I'm really inspired by how you helped Kerry. It really resonates with me. As a marketer, I feel I should be able to help myself. I put to call that. If it makes you feel better, Paula. So, I help businesses. I love working with businesses, and I love the transformation I get, but I can't do it for myself. I can't do it in my own business. I need a business coach because I'm so close to what I do. And again, I'm a copywriter by trade. I spent 23 years working in advertising agencies. The worst copy I ever wrote was my own copy. The worst marketing I did was my own marketing. We're too close to it. We need someone else to have that objective viewpoint and to kind of see the areas we need to be working on. So don't worry, do not feel bad if you think, I'm getting help with things I help other people with, because I do the same. Everyone does. All coaches I know, all good business coaches have business coaches as well, by the way. Should PayPal make my home address visible to clients? Yeah, Tessa, so you don't want your home address. You can edit your address on PayPal. Is there a way of keeping it quiet, be private? I don't know the answer to that. I do know, I mean, you could always edit it. I know with kind of, for example, PayPal invoices, when I send them out, you have an option to use your default PayPal address, or you can add another address in there. You know, it might be that businesses need some kind of address, because obviously for tax purposes they might need an address. I know companies sometimes that they buy, you know, like so for example in my business, I use my accountant's address as my registered address. So you can put another address on there if you don't want them to see your home address, but I think you might have to put some address on there. There might be a way to hide it, I'm not sure, but Dr. Google should tell you that. Yeah, you should be able to look it up. But I know you can change how the address appears on invoices, but you would have to still give some address. So you would need an alternative address to give it. Okay, so probably can't hear a thing. I hope other people can. I will send a recording out. Okay, so other people can, because people are responding. Marianne said I had the same issue with MailChimp, where they claim to need my address for GPFS reasons. Yes, they do need an address, but whether you can hide it on PayPal. If you Google, can I hide my address on PayPal? But it might be not possible, because, you know, like if you're invoicing someone, they do need an address. It might just be that even if you've got like, you want to kind of, if you've got like an office address that you can put on there, if you've got an accountant, you can put their address on there. Some people just, you can rent addresses. You can rent a PO box. So there are cheaper options if you really don't want that. There are cheap options to rent addresses where literally just a PO box, or, you know, for example, like there's offices like that you can rent by the day. They are often do at a really cheap service where you can use that as your address, but even though you don't actually there, that is another option to look into. You're welcome, Tessa. I hope that was helpful. That was your surname and thing, but yeah, I hope that was helpful. So anyone else before we go? I can see like loads of you book calls. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you. If not, I will go and I will send out a recording. So Sinfawi, I know you couldn't hear this, hopefully you can hear the recording. I think other people can, so it's not the volume, I hope. It's lovely to chat with you and speak to you, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to you. And even if you haven't booked a call, if you're not ready or you don't want to, do use some of the advice I've given in this and just before the webinar, because it really, really will help you. Do spend time working on your business. Put aside that time and you will see a difference. So have a lovely rest of the day, and I will speak to some of you very soon. Thank you. Bye, everyone.